Mish Hancock, and you are listening to MichMash, a place where I get to talk to the weird, wacky, wonderful people of this world, people I adore and want to know more about. Today, my guest is Tracyi Brooks. Tracyi is the owner of Lashing Out Loud, an exclusive lash extensive. Let me try that again. Paul, I'm going to start with introducing Tracyi. Tracyi is the owner of Lashing Out Loud, an exclusive lash extension service and training program where she teaches others to start their own career and provides them all the necessary tools for success. Hello, darling.
Hi, Mish. How are you today?
I
Thank you
am
so
good.
much.
Well,
Thank you
I'm
for the invite.
excited. I love this because it's okay, so when I first met you, I thought this is what Tracyi does. She does lash extensions, which I kind of wanted, but I needed some lash to begin with. So I have no lashes.
True,
So
true,
we
true,
I
true.
didn't get to be a client, but then when I found out what you were offering to others, helping them to get their own career started in a way that's very accessible, that's awesome.
It is. It really can change ladies' lives, which is just so important to me. I've seen how it has changed my life. But I'm an entrepreneur. I mean, people don't know this, but although I've been lashing for 10 years, prior to lashing, I owned a restaurant. And when the economy crashed back in 2009, I literally lost everything. I lost my business. I lost my house. I lost my man. I lost it all.
Oh,
But we're entrepreneurs. That happens. It happens with most entrepreneurs. They fail at something or something happens terrible where you lose everything and you just have to bounce back. And so I bounced back with lashing. And so yeah, I'm thankful. It happened for a very good reason. So that restaurant industry is hardcore.
oh, it's a tough one. And
Yes, it
it's
is.
interesting that I've never thought about it, but maybe because entrepreneurs are such risk takers, that's
I
one of
think
the
so.
reasons why a lot of us have done the, oh, I just lost everything. Oh crap. Now, how do I get this all back? How do I
Yeah,
get going again?
yeah.
Well, okay, so I would say that we are people that have a lot of resilience.
I would definitely agree. And I don't know, for me personally, the 9 to 5 just doesn't work with my personality.
Yep, I got
Being
you.
stuck in a cubicle 40 hours a week, it just is devastating mentally for me. I remember when I worked at the railroad, and that was one of those gravy jobs that you stayed in until you retired because the benefits were great, the money was great. And I'm like, how do you guys do this? Like, I wanted to bang my head up against the wall. I couldn't do it. And so I knew that there was a better way for me. And I was 27 when got furloughed at the railroad. And so at 27, I knew that I could not do this for the rest of my life. And so from that point on, I have been self-employed. So I'm 49 now. So for 22 years, I have found another way. There is another way. When I got sick and didn't know if I was going to be able to lash again, I still knew that I was not going to go back to a job. I had decided, because at the time I still my Jakey Jake was still alive, and so I had decided that I was going to become a dog walker. Like I knew that I could do something besides going into a cubicle. So yeah, I think
Right.
that we are risk takers, and yeah, um, we're risk takers. Yeah, absolutely.
So you just hit on a whole bunch of points. And
Okay.
since part of this podcast is that I get to know you better through this, can I ask you, what did you do at the railroad?
I sat in a cubicle. No, actually, what we did. So trains are moving constantly, and so we made what happened in the real world uh, happen in the computer world. So
Yeah.
yeah, it was just a bunch of logistics, typing in where cars moved. If one car had to move from St. Louis, Missouri to Hawaii, we tracked it everywhere it went to make sure that it
Gotcha.
got to its destination.
And then you got sick?
I did. I had I was actually lashing at the time, and I remember I was at a client's house, and I just my head was hurting so bad, and I just had to come home, go to sleep. And I went to sleep. I got up the next morning, was feeling a little better. I remember I got dressed, I left, I came back home, and I don't know, within a couple hours, my mother found me on the floor having a stroke.
My
I
gosh.
know at 40, I'm 49 now, so I was 45 at the time. So it's been, well, actually, it's been 5 years. So I was 44 at the time. Um, yeah, I had a mini stroke. They call it a mini stroke. And yeah, just stroked out and
Wow.
wasn't sure that I was going to be able to lash again. But here I am.
You did it. The
I
strokes
did.
are
Yeah,
weird because they just come out of nowhere.
they do.
They just
They
come
do.
out of
I
nowhere.
was severely anemic. So I was severely anemic, and yeah, that's what happened. So I had a
Interesting.
TIA.
Well, we're glad you're still here.
I am too, definitely.
And
And
then,
like I said, I wasn't sure I was going to be able to lash because I had gone blind, and then when my sight did come back, I was still having some issues with my sight, and so I wasn't sure that I was going to be able to lash. And again, I had decided I was going to become a dog walker. At one point, I even had decided that I was going to cut grass, but I'm like, no, I don't think I want to cut grass. So dog walking was much better, but I knew that there was a better way. Yeah, I was going to figure something out.
I am moving hopefully to a loft downtown soon, so I never have to deal with grass again.
That's right. Aw,
I am
that's
not a
exciting.
yeah, I'm not really a yard taker. Good. I don't take
Me
care of
either.
I don't like
Yeah.
I and plus I don't really understand why people get upset about weeds. I think they're fine. So I
No, yeah, I do too. My mother loves yard work, and she cuts grass and, plants flowers and all that. But yeah, it isn't in me. I'd rather pay somebody to do it. But I, like you, I want to live in some place where I'd never have to do a yard ever again in life.
yeah, no, it's been my dream for a long time and to have some kind of a view of like a city view. I mean, I've had beautiful, I lived on a lake for a while. I had a lake view. Right now we back up against woods, so I have a beautiful woods view, but I'm really ready for city view.
Good. I love City View too. I always, when I had my restaurant downtown, I always wanted to live downtown, and I've decided that when I do move, it will be in a loft where I'll have a beautiful view. So I love that about you.
Ooh, we'll be neighbors.
Yeah.
So where was your restaurant downtown?
It was downtown on 11th and Washington.
Okay.
So yeah, I was downtown, and I moved down there because there was another popular restaurant, and I cannot think of it off the top of my head because he's closed now. And so I had been down there for a year, and he moved on the corner of Washington and 10th. And I'm like, really? He was one of the reasons that I took that location, because I
Oh,
knew he had a lot of
shoot.
traffic. Because downtown at the time was not as popular or as big as it is now. There weren't
Right.
all those lofts. There weren't as many residents downtown as there are now.
Right.
And but I still stuck it out. But then when the economy crashed, there just was no way. I was either the 13th or the 14th restaurant to close downtown. So we were just, falling like dominoes. It was terrible.
Oh gosh. I well, and I have a lot of hope for that area.
I do too.
Because Square is moving in and they
Oh,
got the
really?
yeah, Square just purchased the old St. Louis Post Dispatch building.
Nice. Oh, that'll
So
be
they'll be down
great.
there,
Yeah,
and so my hope is that that area just keeps growing and growing because I love the vibe. I love
I
the
do
vibe
too.
of Washington Avenue.
I love
Um,
city living though. So
Me too.
yeah.
And it would be so great if St. Louis really had that whole city living feel. I would love
Yes,
that
I
for us.
agree. I agree. And
So,
there's no reason that we can't. I mean, I blame it on politics, but there's just no reason that downtown St. Louis can't be as vibrant as like a Chicago downtown. Seriously.
well, if you go to move down there, talk to me because I will tell you it's a whole different deal than getting a mortgage for a house.
Okay.
Whole different deal. I
All
had
right.
no idea what I was getting myself into when
Oh,
I went into
really?
this. Well, yeah, because they're like, oh, so you want a mortgage loan for a condo? Oh, well, there's this thing about how many commercial, like who, because it's a building, right?
Okay. Right.
you only own part of that building.
Right, right.
And then there's the HOA fees, and you got to figure out all what that covers because it's very different according to each building. But the other thing is there's this whole thing with how much commercial is in that building, how many renters versus buy.
Oh, really? Oh,
It is
wow.
a
Okay.
whole different thing. I have gotten quite the education on it at
Okay.
this point, so let me
Interesting.
know. So
Okay.
let's talk more about Lashing Out Loud. Love the name,
Awesome.
first of all. Love the
Awesome.
name.
Thank
Um,
you.
and I see you at Medici. You're one of our Medici people. Yay, Medici.
I am. Love
So
Medici.
I see you there when we are not podcasting in place and sheltering in place. I always
Yes,
see you working on ladies' lashes, but you travel a lot,
I do. That is 20 years ago, honestly, when I got into what does Tracy want to do with her life? What does she want to be for the rest of her life? One of the things that I wanted was travel. Um, Luckily, I've been able to travel my entire life. My mother is from Birmingham, Alabama. And so from the time that I was 5 years old, my mother used to put me on a plane and send me to Birmingham to visit my grandmother and my uncles and aunts and cousins. And so I've always, always, always traveled. And I just thought that that was normal for
right?
people. But my ex boyfriend, he's like, I've never been on a plane. And I'm like, what do you mean you've never been on a
Wow.
plane? That just didn't make sense to me. But some people do live in that world. I was lucky that my mother was from out of town, so I was able to travel. So one of the things that I wanted to do with a business was I wanted to be able to travel with the business. With a restaurant business, no way could you travel. You're stuck there all the
Right.
time, constantly. So with this business, I once I started training, and I saw how great the business was and how addictive these lashes are. I wanted to move the business outside of St. Louis, Missouri. And so I am just thankful that I'm able to do that. And I have a list of cities that, um, according to Google, it's very popular in as well. And so they need my services. So, the internet has changed the game as far as being able to take your business outside of, your home base. I mean, St. Louis is my home base, but yes, I am able to really travel all over the United States. Whoever wants me, I can come visit.
And you've also, so one of the things that a lot of small business owners struggle with is the marketing part, and
Yes,
they usually have to hire someone to get it done for them. But you are a natural marketer. You
I
were one of
kind
the
of
few
am.
small businesses I know that you're like, oh yeah, well no, you just get on Facebook and you do this and you do that and you do. I'm like, whoa. I mean, it's really impressive. There's so many small businesses that wish that they just had that.
Yeah,
Just
marketing.
always had it.
I guess I kind of have just because of the restaurant. I had to, and the internet was so brand new. Facebook was so brand new. Instagram didn't even exist when I had my restaurant. It was Facebook and Twitter. And
Right.
so I understood how important it was for me to be able to reach people that I did not know personally. I mean, your personal people can only take you so far, which is not far at all. So I
Right.
needed a much bigger audience, and I understood that that's what the internet could do for me. And that's something that I tell the ladies that take my training, that you need to reach everyone, any and everyone. You need to be able for them to put some money in your pocket. It really is that simple for me. I mean, an example that I give them all the time is, I'm like, anytime I turn on the TV, I can see a McDonald's commercial. Do I need to see a McDonald's commercial? Absolutely not. But if McDonald's knows that it works, then you need to understand how important it is for you to be seen constantly. Even if they don't click it, they just need to see it. And
That's
so
so
I
true.
knew that, yeah, my name was important and that the logo was important, because maybe you don't need me right now, but maybe 6 months from now, when you decide, when you get engaged and you want to get married and you want some lashes that day, you remember, oh, I remember that girl. I can't remember her name, but it was something catchy and funny and cute, lashing something. So I wanted to be memorable.
That's
Definitely.
awesome. And you do it so well. And it's true because it's like you got to get people used to singing it so that they remember it. And you never know when someone's going to be in a conversation and going, da 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 da, I'm doing that. And I wish I had lashes. I know someone. I
Yep.
see it all the time. I see it on
Yep.
Facebook. You got to call her.
Yep.
When you travel, a lot of it is training. What do your
Yes.
training
All of it
classes
is
look
training.
like? Okay.
Yes. When I travel, it is only training. I don't do any lashing when I travel. A client, literally a client of mine invited me to Denver. I had never been to Denver, never even considered going to Denver. And she invited me to this Winter Park Jazz Festival that I love. And so she invited me up in the mountains. Her and her family are from Denver. And I fell in love with the mountains. And I ended up staying in Denver a couple days. And I just felt, I love the energy in Denver. Denver, the energy there is so different than St. Louis, Missouri. They are so unbelievably nice that I was kind of thrown back. I'm like, are you people for real? Like, they're just so helpful and friendly and happy. And I love it. And so I'm like, I want to do a class here. And it really was that simple. You know, changing the subject just a little bit, but how I found Medici was on Craigslist. And so how I found the young lady's space that I use in Denver, I found her on Craigslist also. I went to
Really?
Craigslist and I was looking for space to do a class. And she had posted something about that she had 2 spaces. And so I have been using her space for years now. And we have a friendship and a relationship. And so, yeah, I love it. I love Denver and I love her name's Tu and she's just a sweetheart. So, yeah,
Oh,
Craigslist. I still
cool.
use it. I'm that old, girl. I am that old.
Hey, these things are still around for a reason,
They
right?
are.
You know. So tell me about oh, I'm getting sorry. I just like tried to knock my earphones out of my ears. Tell me about your training classes. Like what I mean, because you teach them, but you also give them all the tools they need.
I do. So, when I did my very first class, it was after I had recovered from my illness. And one of my very first clients, she's like, Tracyi, you need to start training. And I'm like, no, no, my lash business was good. I felt very comfortable. I was making plenty of money. I was happy. I was satisfied. I was glad to be working again. And she just kept kind of reminding me that I needed to start training. And so I looked into it and I started just telling my clients, my current clients, I'm like, hey, I'm going to do a training class. If you'd like to learn how to do, what I do, sign up. And so 2 of my clients signed up. I had this whole big idea I was promoting. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to have 10 girls and I'm going to make a bunch of money. Yes, I'm ready. I'm ready. So 2 ladies showed up and I had done it at a hotel, spent all this money because I had planned on making all this money. And 2 of the ladies showed up and I did the class, everything went well. And when we were finished, they were like, hey, Tracyi, we need the table too. Can we buy the table from you? And that's when it clicked for me. And I'm like, they need everything. And so at
Right.
that point, that's when I realized what I needed to do in order for ladies to be successful in the business. They needed everything so that they could start working immediately. And I knew that I could teach them the technique. And so if I gave them everything that they needed to make some money, I knew that they could be successful. So, with my training, everyone receives their very own massage table, a headlamp, a professional lash kit, and a professional certification. And I can definitely teach them the technique.
I love it. That's so awesome. Yay. Yay, Tracyi.
Yes.
Thank you.
No, thank you. I love what I do. I love meeting ladies. I love meeting ladies all over the U.S. So it's a great business.
So I have some fun questions for you. Are you
Sure,
ready?
I am.
Um, I wanted to know if there's any particular cartoon character out there that you love and that you feel has awesome lashes.
Ooh, has awesome lashes. I can't even think of his name, but it's from Sesame Street. So I think his name is Snuffleupagus.
Oh, the big like elephant looking guy.
Yes, yeah, that is
Yeah,
the only.
he did have good
He
lashes.
did have great lashes. Absolutely.
That's hilarious. I forgot
Have you
about
thought of?
him.
Yeah, well, I haven't because I'm that old girl.
Well,
Um,
I am too. I grew up with the whole Sesame Street thing, believe me.
Yeah, yeah. I can't think of another because I don't have any children, so I don't really watch. I mean, the cartoons that I watch now are like Family Guy and
The
stuff
stuff
like
kids,
that.
yeah,
So adult,
gotcha.
yeah. Right,
Well, I was
exactly. Adult
thinking of Betty
cartoons.
Boop. Betty Boop always had pretty
Oh, she
lashes.
did. Yes, she did. Yeah, you are absolutely right.
But that's
That's
good
even
that you
better.
think of something different than me, right? That
Yes.
makes it more
Yeah,
fun.
yeah. Yes.
But that was, yeah, I was like, what can I ask her that would be kind of fun outside the
Aw.
box? So I know that you are sheltering in place with mom right now. And I know
Yes.
mom doesn't cook.
No.
What
She
is,
does not like to
well,
cook.
what have you made her that she's loved?
Um, Nothing. Like literally, we have such different taste. My mom is a steak and potatoes. I'm creative when I cook. And unfortunately or fortunately, I don't know. I like a lot of pasta. And so she's not really into that. My mother, like, she cooks beans and ham hocks and neck bones, and I don't eat any of that. So
Gotcha.
she'll taste what I cook, but nah, she doesn't really like it. But she doesn't like to
I think
cook,
she might be
which is
missing
funny.
out. It
I
sounds
agree.
like
I agree.
that's so funny.
Yeah, I'm a little more creative. And I used to own a restaurant, so I'm definitely more
True.
creative.
So
So,
you definitely know how to cook and how to put yummy
yeah.
things together.
Yes.
All right,
And
when we're done
different
sheltering in
things.
place, can I come to your house and eat?
Absolutely.
I'm
Definitely.
like, Mom, I don't like to, I love to eat different things. I just don't like to cook though.
Okay. Yeah,
All
you're
right,
always invited.
you'll love this one. Who is your
Okay.
favorite Star Wars character?
Oh, my favorite Star Wars character. It would it well, it would be Darth Vader. I mean, he's the one
Really?
that, yeah, definitely. And it's funny because I went to all of those movies as a kid with my dad, and it wasn't until I got older and probably via the internet, I'm sure via the internet, that I realized who Darth Vader's voice was. I don't know, as a kid, I didn't really know. I don't know what I thought, but
Gotcha.
but I didn't. I don't know what I thought as a kid, but I didn't realize that there was an actor's voice that wasn't actually in this suit,
Gotcha.
playing the character. So
Right.
yes, yeah, Darth Vader and probably R2D2 and CP30. So I guess I like the cartoony, like, and not the real people.
Not the real people. Well,
Yeah, yeah,
I remember. So, did you want to go see Star Wars?
yes. Uh-huh.
Okay, because I didn't want to. My brothers wanted
Ah,
to, and I was like, this looks dumb." You know what I mean? And then
oh,
we
really?
went, and I was, and we went before it had hit, like before it had be like people got how awesome it was. So we were
Okay.
in a theater with like 7 people and
Oh,
watching this
wow.
thing. And then as we were watching it, I was like, this is the best movie I have ever seen in my life. I was really, really in love with Han Solo and thought that if he knew me, that he would have fallen in love with me as well.
I, I
Um,
agree.
and I totally had much better hairstyle going on than Princess Leia. So I was like, dude, you know, come meet
Yes, definitely.
Miss. She's so cute. But it was amazing to me how it got so huge.
It
I mean,
did.
and it was like a very defining time for many of us that were there when it first came out,
Right.
you
Yes.
know.
You
And
know,
here we are
my
how many years later
I
and it's
know.
still there. It's amazing.
Have they had like their 40-year anniversary? It's got to be 35, 40 years.
Yeah, I don't know. I
It's
mean,
been I think, well, maybe 1979. For some reason 1979 is kind of sticking out in my head as when the first Star Wars movie came out, but I could be wrong. But my I don't know that you know this, but my ringtone is actually the Star Wars theme. Yeah, I
I
love
know
Star
this
Wars.
now. I learned
Oh,
this from my Armaditi friends, and they
ah.
predicted you would say Darth Vader.
Are
They
you
did.
serious?
I
Oh,
am
that
not.
is
I
hilarious. Oh, I
think
love it.
yes. They predicted. I was like,
Yep. Well, they were right.
really?
They were right.
Okay. I love it. Well, so tell us where people can find out more about Lashing Out Loud.
I am everywhere. Hopefully, in my head, I'm everywhere. So yes, you can always find me on social media, Lashing Out Loud. I am on Instagram. I am on Facebook. I am on Twitter. Um, I am on LinkedIn. So those are definitely the places you can find me. But I do have a website, and it is lashingoutloudinc.com. And you can always reach me via phone because I definitely answer my phone, and that is 314 560-1641.
Awesome.
I'm
Tracyi,
always available.
thank you so
Oh,
much for
Mish, no,
doing with
thank
me
you so
today.
much.
This is great, and I
Yeah,
love getting to know more about the people I love. So this is great.
good. This was fun. So I appreciate the invite.
All right, darling. Well, have fun sheltering in place. Tell mom hi.
I will. Thank you so much, Mish.
All right, everybody out there, you have been listening to MichMash. Go to iTunes and subscribe and have a wonderful time during this time. I'm hoping that you are all safe and well, and just know that there's lots of love being sent out over here to everyone out there. Love you. Bye. We're done.
All right, awesome.
Yay, yes.
So I don't know how that live video went. I feel like I'm not looking at the camera, which I know that I'm not. I'm like, I don't know, rolling my eyes and doing all kind of weird stuff. So,
You're
oh my
fine.
God.
You're
No,
fine.
girl, I was rolling my eyes. I know I
No,
was.
it's we're still out there. So as soon as I end this Zoom, I think that's when it'll end that. But I think our whole thing was actually live. We're
Okay.
still
Oh,
say,
really?
say hi to everybody. You're,
Well, I'm glad I didn't
everybody's
say
like,
anything silly.
no, well,
Yeah, we are
I would
still
have
live. I
stopped
see
you.
it. Yeah. No, but thank you so much. I really appreciate it because I was a little apprehensive about it because I feel like I kind of babble and I'm going,
If you didn't
different
talk a
places.
lot, it would be a problem.
Yeah, yeah, I agree.
That's
So,
part of the
yes.
problem, right? If you have
Right.
someone that's not going to talk very much, it's like, okay, I'm filling up. I'm going to fill up with lots of Mish stuff now.
Right. Right. So, yeah. So yeah, this was fun and I've been wanting to do a podcast cuz I want to do a podcast down at Medici down at say the name of it. I'm so
Shock
sorry.
City,
Shock
Shock
City.
City.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, I would love to get something started. I'm just not there yet.
I gotcha. And you can do it remote now, but yeah, I'm happy to talk to you about it.
Okay, I'd appreciate it.
All right. Well, have a good one, ma'am.
I will, and thank you so much. I appreciate it.
All right. Bye, everybody out there. Love you. See you next week.
Bye.